Hey everyone, it's Adam Mishan here, singer, songwriter, and vocal coach, and today I'm going to teach you how to sing better by controlling your tongue.
Run, run, lost boy, they say to me.
Now, many people don't even realize how integral of a role the tongue actually plays in singing. See, the tongue that we're seeing inside of our mouth is actually really just the tip of the iceberg of the muscle of the tongue. The tongue goes all the way back, and there's a root of the tongue that is a really big muscle that sits right above the larynx. Now, for those of you who have seen a video before, you'll know the larynx is where the vocal cords are housed. So if it's sitting right above where the vocal cords are housed, it can impact how the vocal cords operate. So if we can get that tongue to be in the proper position and in a relaxed state as we're singing, we're going to have a much better singing voice overall. So most people, as they're speaking, take it for granted what their tongue is doing. They just allow it to do what it naturally does. But it plays an integral role in being able to produce speech to other people that they're going to understand. Without the tongue, we really wouldn't be able to speak. Now, the fact is that most singing needs to be done on vowels. So we don't really sing on our consonants. Our speech is made up of two sounds, the consonant sounds and the vowel sounds. So we can have I, O, those vowel sounds, or we can have b, t, d. Those are the consonant sounds. Generally, we're not going to be singing on an we're singing more on an ah type of vowel. That's why when learning how to sing and how to position the tongue, working on the vowels is extremely important. The more you're able to understand exactly how the tongue should be positioned for every vowel, the easier time you're going to have to be able to produce those vowels when singing. If you want to sing with more confidence and power, then you have to sign up for my lesson subscription. You get 2 group lessons with me personally every single week. You get access to all my courses, and you get access to recordings of all my one-on-one lessons with my students. That will help you learn vicariously through them. Click the link down below to sign up now. So let's start with the ah vowel. The ah vowel is going to require the tongue to be in a relaxed state at the bottom of the jaw, and the back of the tongue is not going to be in a raised position, and it's not going to be in a lowered position. If it's in a lowered position, that's going to press the root of the tongue against the larynx, and if it's in a raised position, it's going to produce a different vowel. It's going to produce a little bit more of an eh vowel that lifts the tongue up a little bit higher. So generally we want to keep it in this lowered position, just allow it to rest at the base of the jaw. So best way to find this is to just let your tongue as easily as you can, and don't mind if it twitches and moves around, but just let your tongue sit in a really relaxed state with your jaw open. So if you open your jaw, let it relax, and then let your tongue relax, what you'll notice is your tongue will start to widen and chill out in that way. It might twitch a little bit, but that's fine. So we just want to find that. Good. That's very close to the state of an ah vowel. All we got to do now is allow the tongue to slip behind the bottom teeth, and the tip of the tongue should rest right up against the bottom teeth, and then the main body of the tongue should stay relaxed and relatively flat against the jaw. So if we get ah, ah, ah. So this is the positioning of the tongue in relation to the jaw and the teeth on the ah vowel. Now let's move on to the eh vowel. Now the eh vowel, the tongue is going to retract a little bit from the back of the bottom teeth, and it's going to bunch up or raise in the back of the mouth. So you're going to have more of an eh type of vowelization. So if we put this on a scale, you want to just let the tongue lift slightly up so that it's close towards the upper back molars. Now, when you're trying to find all of these positions, it's super helpful to have a handheld mirror. I don't have one here, but if you just have a handheld mirror that you can go off of, it'll be much easier for you to be able to acknowledge and adjust any issues that are coming up. So you may feel like, oh, I think I'm doing it right, but if you see it, then it's a whole different ball game. Next, let's move on to the E vowel. So the E vowel, the tip of the tongue should be resting against the bottom teeth, and the back of the tongue should rise all the way up to the back molars. So when we get an E vowel, we get E, 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 E. Now it's important with E vowels not to overly spread the mouth. So a lot of people will go E, E, E in order to try to get that sound. Now the problem with that is we can get in our higher range a little bit of a Miss Piggy type sound. Ooh, ooh. where we're tightening and tensing the tongue a little bit too much. We want to actually try to keep the face relatively relaxed, not smiling into the sound. And we want to let the tongue do its job of sitting up against the bottom teeth and raising in the back, E, raising in the back up to the back molars. So then if we apply that to a scale, E, and we get this perfect positioning of that tongue, and we're ready to move on. Now let's try to find on the O vowel. Now with the O vowel, main problem that a lot of people run into is that they turn it into the diphthong that the vowel in articulation and speech is, but the pure vowel is just an O sound. So we don't want to do the diphthong. Diphthong means two vowels put together. Oh. So we don't want to go oh, because then you're switching, and as you're switching the vowels, you can muddy your tone up, and it's adjusting the way that your tongue is positioned. So we want to try to keep, when we're working on the O vowel, that it says oh. And we want to try to find, okay, exactly what is the tongue doing as we make that oh sound. So now here again, the tongue is going to be resting right up against the bottom teeth, and the base of the tongue, or the back area of the tongue, or really the mid-tongue, is going to lower slightly. And that concave shape is what's going to be characteristic of the O vowel. So when we're making this vowel sound, we want to try not to close down to the U vowel. We want to try to keep it open. Oh. So you get this kind of slightly lowered position of the back of the tongue. Oh. Now, what I want you to do is try to put that on a scale. Oh. And the final vowel that we're going to work with, and this you're not going to be able to see my tongue in my mouth, but is the U vowel. Now, for the U vowel in its purest form, the middle of the tongue is going to come up and reach those back molars. It's going to reach towards them. It's not going to necessarily press as high as the E, but it's going to have a little bit of a lifted state. And again, the tip of the tongue, as with most of the other vowels, is going to sit right up against those bottom teeth. So we want oo. So we don't want to get a vowel sound where we're getting a little bit of like the German or French That's from a lowering of the mid-tongue. We want to try to keep the mid-tongue up, but the tip of the tongue up against the bottom teeth. So grab yourself a mirror, try to find that positioning of all those vowels, sing through those vowels, and see how it changes and fluctuates as you move through your upper range. The goal is to try to keep these overall positionings as close as possible to the original positioning of the tongue as you move through your entire range. You might notice that this is going to be able to undo a lot of tension that you've sung with for a long time, because you're more cognizant and aware of what is going on with your tongue and how to position it properly for the different vowels. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below, and if you want to see another video like this one, check out that one right there. It's a good one.